So guys, despite all the borrowings, take a look at Tinubu's team struggling to tell Nigerians what they've achieved in 1 year. This was a 12-month review of the Tinubu's administration. Take a look at this.
Outlook. You made it. In fact, we have achieved a lot in Nigeria, including security, poverty elimination, and all that. But I'm worried, sir, because there seems to be a misinformation, because there in the field where we interact with the people, we don't get the same story. It's a different story all the same. The people are hungry, the people are sad, and I don't think they will toe the same line with you. That's why I'm standing to ask, what is this government doing? Because it shows there is a dire need for counter of misinformation.
In few days, they'll be marking 1 year in office, and this government is looking for what to tell Nigerians. We all know that this 1 year has been the toughest for Nigerians. A year of hunger, 1 year of sorrow, agony, pain, destituteness, whatever you can call it. We all know what Nigerians have gone through. Recently, there is a report of many students leaving school because they can't afford school fees. That is under the leadership of Tinubu. And they won't tell Nigerians all this. So guys, just take a look at how they were like struggling, looking for words that they will paint to tell Nigerians. It's really so sad.
By adding, sir, that under this government, our states, that's the subnationals, have received more allocations that have either doubled or tripled. But sadly, there is little to show in these states. Your Excellency, sir, under your office, you have a forum of secretaries to the state governments of the Federation. And I will expect, sir, that this government will want or would like to drive some of its reforms even down to the states, where the bulk of Nigeria's 200 million population reside. Sir, will this administration, as we cross to the second year of the mandate, would this administration like to lead that process, bearing in mind, sir, that 6 weeks ago, the Senate, where you have many governors, including the way governors are so peopled in this administration, the Senate asked that the Mr. President should convene a national dialogue on local government autonomy so that we can have growth and development in the states. I thank you very much, sir.
The lady at the center, please.
Good morning, Your Excellencies. Good morning, colleagues. I am Princess Ilkwi Ajde of the Anambra Broadcasting Service. SGF, sir, during your presentation, you gave a very, very wonderful outlook. You made it, in fact, we have achieved a lot in Nigeria, including security, poverty elimination, and all that. But I'm worried, sir, because there seems to be a misinformation, because there in the field where we interact with the people, we don't get the same story. It's a different story all the same. The people are hungry, the people are sad, and I don't think they will toe the same line with you. That's why I'm standing to ask, What is this government doing? Because it shows there is a dire need for counter of misinformation. So what is this administration doing to ensure that we counter misinformation so that we'll have a more informed society where the people can air their views? Thank you.
We will take one more. Okay, let's take one from the other end, please. That's the last one for today.
You as a press person, you are here.
Thank you, Your Excellency, the Secretary to Government of the Federation, the Honorable Ministers and other members of the High Table. Please, I am Apweke Francis Okoye. I am coming from the social media platform where I control so many people. Your Excellency, yes, it's not only conventional media that should be talking. Those of us on the streets should equally talk, isn't it?
You are right.
Yes, so I'm speaking from the social media platform. Your Excellency, I'm your son, Apweke Francis Okoye. Please, I want to report here that this administration has done so much in the last 1 year. But most of the achievement of this administration has been underreported. I am urging the Ministry of Information, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, and all other parastatals, agencies of government who are saddled with the responsibility of telling Nigerians what the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration has achieved to increase their tempo. Those of them in the street are being intimidated by the propaganda from the obedient platform, from the Atiku and PDP platform. I'm telling you.
Thank you, please.
So we need to increase the tempo on what the Asiwaju administration has achieved. Let the people hear it and know it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The SGF, sir, you may wish to respond to the questions, please.
The guy is looking for his own way to penetrate.
Well, can you lend me your ears, please? I know Nigerians are very, very tolerant people who can always listen to the views of our fellow brothers and sisters, even if we disagree with those views. So please let that spirit be in the air as we gather here to talk about the journey so far. I'll be taking the first questions, and the second one will go to the Honorable Minister of Budget and National Planning, while the last one will be taken by my colleague from the Ministry of Information. First and foremost, let me agree with you that more funds are going to the states, and that is the typical Asiwaju attitude to governance and commitment to the rule of law and constitutionalism. Someone who believes so much about fiscal federalism, he believes that in a typical federal setup, you have tiers of government, and these tiers of government are also what? Independent. We have the federal, the state, and the local governments. All of them have access to the federation account. So what goes to each state is under the control of the governor of their state and the legislature of that state.
Good morning. The question by, I believe, Emeka Nwankpa was, what is the government doing to confront the challenge in the system? And the starting point is that this government I believe led by President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, campaigned on a renewed hope agenda. And that renewed hope agenda came out of introspection and interrogation of what we have done as a country and collective experiences of different stakeholders who were party to the renewed hope agenda as ambitioned by President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Not surprisingly or accordingly, 8 priority areas were developed, which among other objectives are to help us make choices that we should have taken maybe years ago or even decades ago, which so long as we don't take them, we might continue to wobble, because the experience of countries with whom we are competing or with who we wish to be like show that they took those choices long ago, and maybe it's for, and those choices are necessary and responsible. While, of course, as part of the coming face to face with our reality, they may involve some discomfort, some pain, but true leadership involves first and foremost telling those who are leading the truth of your reality. So we embarked as part of the renewed hope agenda on a macro economy reform, because that was what was responsible for low investment, low revenues, and our economy size was shrinking, was too small compared to our need. Nothing we do can solve the problem of underinvestment in various sectors of the economy, be it security, be it education, be it social welfare, without restoring a macroeconomic environment that can stimulate investment in our economy, which will generate revenues for us to fix security. That is why we are not even producing crude oil in the quantity we used to before, or as allowed by international convention, which is our OPEC quota, because of underinvestment, whether in the physical infrastructure itself or security, and so on and so forth. Food security, despite our potential, we are underinvesting. We are not, most of our farmers are one season per year farmers. So when you have an asset that you only utilize 4 months in a year because you don't have irrigation, you don't have water bodies. Most of our fishing communities, they go to freshwater bodies where there's no fish anymore. We have to transit them. The livestock sector, which in countries like New Zealand is an important engine of growth, but in our country, due to cumulative underinvestments, it's even formed a basis for a conflict rather than economic opportunity. Our infrastructure is not catching up with our dreams. Our educational system, our health system is suffering from underinvestment, and this in addition to our other sectors, the creative economy, digital economy, the steel sector, creative economy. So what is the answer to all this? Is to restore macroeconomic stability that will ensure that investors, both domestic and international, put their pace in our economy once again. And we are all doing this without a blame game. One of the things that President was very clear about is not blaming anybody. Some of these are historical, they have taken this underinvestment, maybe they have been decades in the making. But the bold and courageous leader that he is, he said, I'm going to take them on. And I apologize for the pain that they might occasion, but they are necessary. So, not surprisingly, exchange rate is not yet where we want it to be. Inflation is not yet where we want to be. But is our strategy right? Absolutely. We believe our strategy is right, but it requires occasional calibration. Put good money to use. Just this morning we were told Mr. President have directed low-key celebration. Mr. President have directed government to buy CNG buses in order to support the transition to CNG and lower energy competitiveness. Mr. President have directed a reduction in government travels. Some may mock that, but these are profound measures that goes to the mindset of the leadership that we have. And as well as initiatives that have been introduced to solve legacy problems that the country, so that everyone will have a sense of belonging. Constituent parts of Nigeria will be mobilized to give in their best. We are a federation. Mr. President is one of the most ardent supporters of our federalism, who supports the restoration of local government to their place of pride in our system. State governments as necessary partners in a cooperative federalism, so that we can all do better together. And for the federal government to put the resources we have as challenged as we are, so that both the domestic economy and international investors will know that we mean business. We can do it with the resources. We can start it with the resources we have, so that we can earn their confidence. And it's happening. Rating agencies have acknowledged our reforms. Leaders of different countries have acknowledged our reforms. The 3 budgets Mr. President had participated in, the first, the 819 billion naira budget which he inherited, which was even passed into law before he came, he renegotiated with the National Assembly. He said, I want 500 billion to fund intervention that will support the vulnerable population who might be affected by the reform measures. This, about 200 billion went to agriculture, 75 billion to the medium and small enterprise sector, and as well as 40 billion to the nano credit sector. Equally, another budget of 2.17 trillion that went to support gains in national security, most of it to security and infrastructure, and also providing more money for cash transfer and meeting commitment to the labor union. Then the 2024 budget, which have 2 remarkable features. One, the determination, despite our challenges, to restore budget discipline by lowering fiscal deficit. So that is why the 2024 budget targeted a reduction in deficit from 6.11% in 2023 to less than 4% in 2024. And increase in capital expenditure relative to recurrent expenditure, 39% expenditure, which is the highest in our history. In addition to innovative programs, a 100 billion naira fund for consumer credit, which has taken up, which is designed to mobilize our manufacturing sector to produce again. A mortgage fund to support the creation of mortgages. Just yesterday, I had the privilege, the opportunity to accompany the coordinating minister of the economy upon the invitation of the Minister of Housing to Karsana, where Mr. President had earlier in the year launched a 100,000 renewed hope housing program across 7 states. The building has advanced, so we believe that with consumer credit, mobilizing the manufacturing sector, with mortgages, re-energizing the housing sector, with Natural Agricultural Development Fund, mobilizing the agricultural sector, our youth and our productive economy will be mobilized. The 130 billion we provided for conversion, for transition to CNG, which is a cheaper form of energy than petroleum, is designed to restore energy competitiveness so that our manufacturing sector, our transport sector, our economy will benefit from cheaper form of energy that will support the economic reform. We have a 3 million technical job programs that the Ministry of Digital Economy is already working on to ensure that at least 3 million young ones are given. But in all this, we are not blind to recognize that the reforms will hurt others more than others disproportionately. And that is why, among other measures, Mr. President directed a wholesale review of the social investment program so that it can be made to work better for the wider economy, and food interventions, fertilizer intervention, financial resource interventions are taking place, and all these are taking place when security improvements from places in Borno, in Imo, in Kaduna states, in Taraba, in North Central, are making it possible for people the resilience of our people to be on displays. Economic activity is resuming in most of these places. I hope I didn't overstay my welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much, the Budget and Planning Minister. That is from the planning man. But please, come back tomorrow in larger numbers. The dish is going to be richer than what you have seen today. Thank you, Your Excellency. Over to the Minister of Information.
Well, we have said that the deeper sectoral briefings will be from tomorrow, so I will make this one very short, just to answer the question from the lady from Anambra Broadcasting Service. And I think that is also tied to what the man from the social media, Francis Okoye, also talked about. She talked about the issue of countering misinformation in our land. This is really a very big issue for all of us. I have said it consistently that misinformation is actually a very big cancer that, if care is not taken, can lead to breakdown of law and order and anarchy in this country. Now recall that democracy cannot go without media freedom, cannot go without press freedom. The media in Nigeria has been largely free, and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is determined to make it even freer. But like I keep saying, the freedom that the media enjoys also carries with it responsibility. What that means is that while it is within the right of the media practitioners to report whatever they think they should report about, they also have a great duty to ensure that this is being done responsibly, honestly, and with a deep sense of patriotism. Meaning that there cannot be media freedom, or you cannot say something is free when it is also fake or not true. All purveyors of fake news, misinformation, and disinformation are not within this space called media freedom or press freedom. Press freedom relates to the ability of a practitioner, or anybody for that matter, to relate his story responsibly, honestly, and factually. You cannot say what is untrue. You cannot say things to malign someone deliberately and call it press freedom or freedom of expression. So while government is determined to ensure that the media continues to enjoy its freedom to do its job, it is also pertinent on practitioners within this space to ensure that they also uphold the highest standards of professionalism. And like I always say, it is us, the practitioners in this space, who have the greater duty to clean up this space by ensuring that anybody who is coming to practice within this space is also doing that responsibly. Otherwise, the media will be the greatest victim of misinformation, will be the greatest victim of fake news, disinformation, and all that. So I agree with you that yes, some people use the so-called media freedom to also spread misinformation. And your question is, how do we do that? How do we counter that as a government? It is not just a government's responsibility. It is a responsibility for all of us. Government, the media practitioners, individuals, the bloggers, those in the social media space. Social media has come to stay with us. Nobody can do anything about that. The social media has come to stay. And the issue of misinformation and fake news is not just a Nigerian phenomenon. It is a problem the world over. It is not only Nigeria that is suffering it. But we have to ensure that we come together to clean up this space so that Nigeria can reach the desired prosperity. You cannot develop in an atmosphere that is toxic, in an atmosphere where someone just relates what he thinks he wants to relate. You can't just pick up your laptop or your handset and just say whatever you want to say and say that you are practicing freedom of expression. That is irresponsibility. Whatever you say, no matter how distasteful it may be, let it be factual, let it be honest, let it also be verifiable. And I think that all of us will need to come together. This is not a job for government alone to do. And I'm happy that all over the world, there seems to be this problem, by their various regulatory agencies on trying to figure out how best to deal with this menace called fake news or misinformation. The UNESCO standard that is being unveiled now will hopefully provide that blueprint for all of us to operate within, so that nobody is seen to be gagged, nobody's views appears to be stifled. The media will continue to enjoy its freedom, but will also ensure that whatever we do is in the best interest of our country. And remember, we have this country to keep. We must report responsibly and patriotically for all of us to continue to live in this country in a way and manner that we all desire. This is my answer to this. And what I keep saying is that it's not just for government to do. It is for all of us to come together and pursue, so that we'll have a better society. Thank you very much. And I think with this, from tomorrow, like I said, and like the SGF has just mentioned, the bigger dish will be served as from tomorrow. So when you come here and you listen to the various ministers, you have the opportunity to ask them questions on what you think they have done or have not done, so that all of us will have will be better informed about what is going around in our country. So I want to maybe thank you, because the day is already spent. I want to thank you for having this, and then over to you, the MC, so that we can round this up and then reconvene here at 11 a.m., 9 a.m. tomorrow. 9 a.m. We're going to have about a couple of ministers are coming to discuss, and they've been broken down into sectors, like I have said. You hear them out. Each of the ministers will have at least 20 minutes to talk about what he's doing in his ministry, and then at the end of the day, you have opportunity to also ask questions, and then we continue the day after. Thank you for this patriotic job that you are doing, and we hope that you will continue to do that in the interest of our country.
Well, thank you very much, Your Excellency, my colleague, the Minister. Over to you, MC. Thank you.
As you have said, before we bring this World Press Conference to a close, I would like to quickly recognize the head of the Civil Service of the FCT, Dr. Udo Samuel Atang. You're welcome. Thank you for coming. Also with us, the Director General and CEO, Michael Imodu National Institute of Labor Studies, Comrade Issa Aremo, MNI. You are welcome. Information, they say, is power. Correct information brings clear thinking, and clear thinking helps people to make sound judgment. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we've been able to share very useful information. Thank you so much. This is the much we can take for today. See you tomorrow by 9 o'clock. Thank you very much. May we please rise as we take the national anthem, please.
Live at the ministerial sectoral updates. This is a 12-month review. Of course, we are approaching 1 year in office of this administration, and beginning tomorrow, each of the ministerial departments will be sharing their review and updates of the year thus far. Nii, what do you think of this approach to the report card? Of course, everybody is already talking about the state of the nation 1 year later, but now we get to hear from each of the ministers who, when they were brought into office, when they were appointed, we were promised that they would give reviews and that they would be accountable and that they would be hiring and firing if there was a need. So I think this is a great way for public to also,
actually, Vimba, it is a great way. But it's one thing to have a report, but the reality on ground seems to be the main gauge of that report. Whatever report you give, you might want to score yourself high, but if it's not in reflection to how the people are being impacted positively, then you might need to go back and do maybe do some more homework, as it were.
So you want more than a report. We want to see action.
Yes, action is better than words.
With the general principle and the policy of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the anniversary, that the 1 year anniversary holding is going to be one that is low-keyed, and that is why emphasis is going to be placed only on sectoral briefings. There will be no ceremonies heralding the 1 year in office of the president. We're going to have sectoral briefings by the various ministers, and this is consistent with the policy of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to improve efficiency and ensure that government expenditure is also kept for the good of the people. Now, today, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation will address this press conference. So my job now is to ensure that all that is happening. But let me say this. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has always insisted that information should flow from government to the people, because it is the people that have elected this government in place. So all the time, he has directed that we must continue to ensure that information that is useful to the people is provided to the people honestly, timely, and responsibly. In turn, we also request you, distinguished members of the media, to please keep focus by reporting honestly, responsibly, and also with a deep sense of patriotism for our dear nation. We all know that the media, the responsibility of the media is to ensure that the people know about what is happening at all time and to also hold government accountable. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a product of democracy. He believes that democracy cannot thrive where the media is also not doing its job the way it should do. So that is why over time, the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation has found it necessary to brief members of the press all the time about what is happening in government so that Nigerians will get informed and in turn also take feedback from Nigerians back to government. I want to plead with you to please do your job as much as you should do, but have a deep sense of patriotism, responsibility, and honesty in the discharge of your duties. From tomorrow, all the ministers will have their time to discuss what is happening in their various ministries. But for now, let me invite the distinguished Secretary to Government, Senator George Akume, to address you. After which we will take one or two questions, and then the sectoral briefing, like I said, will commence from tomorrow. Thank you very much. And now I have the honor and privilege to invite the distinguished Secretary to Government, Senator George Akume, to deliver his address. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, Elijah Mohammed Idris. Your Excellencies, Senator Atiku Bagudu, my friend, the Honorable Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Permanent Secretary, GSO Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Honorable Permanent Secretary, Information, DGs, Chief Executives, parastatals and agencies under the Ministry of Information, publishers, directors, editors, bureau chiefs, invited guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. The Minister of Information has already briefed you what is going to be activities from tomorrow. This is an event that is low-key, and we must take cognizance of that, low-key. I bring you felicitations from the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. It is with great honor and a deep sense of responsibility that I welcome you, particularly members of the 4th Estate of the Realm in Nigeria, and those from other shores, to this review session, aptly titled Ministerial Sectoral Updates. This event offers an invaluable opportunity to reflect on the journey we embarked upon about a year ago and to share the remarkable progress made under the President's visionary leadership. The objective is to acquaint the good people of our country strides taken within the first year of this administration. Essentially, this event is purposed to render accountability to Nigerians by promoting the accomplishments of the present administration within its first year in office and to reassure our citizens that government shall remain focused and committed the implementation of the renewed hope agenda for positive impact on the socio-economic life of Nigerians. As you may recall, Mr. President had declared his unwavering commitment to, I quote, unleashing our country's full economic potential, focusing on job creation, access to capital for small and large businesses, inclusiveness, the rule of law, fight against hunger, poverty, and corruption for the good people of our country. It is therefore imperative that the public is made aware of such commitment, as well as the programs and projects being pursued by government. Government is also poised to unveil measures being taken to positively change the trajectory of the current Nigerian economy. Let me begin by admitting that the first year in office of Mr. President has been a testimony of sorts and goes to show the unwavering commitment and resilience of this administration towards serving the Nigerian people with diligence, integrity, and dedication. Despite the daunting challenges from all angles, President Tinubu has maintained his calm and demonstrated exemplary leadership qualities, thereby guiding our nation with vision and foresight. From the onset, President Tinubu's administration set forth an ambitious agenda focused on economic revitalization, social inclusion, infrastructural development. Government has implemented significant economic reforms aimed at stabilizing our economy and fostering sustainable growth. Key among these is the introduction of policies that have attracted foreign investment, reduced inflation, and boosted job creation across various sectors. Mr. President's commitment to enhancing our nation's infrastructure is also evident in the completion and ongoing execution of numerous projects, notable among which are the extensive road networks, improved rail systems, and the modernization of our ports, which are vital for boosting trade and connectivity. In the same vein, recognizing the importance of human capital development, the present administration has made substantial investment in healthcare and education. The launch of new healthcare facilities and the upgrade of existing ones, along with reforms in our educational system, and of course, government's dedication to the well-being and future of our citizenry. More importantly, ensuring the safety and security of Nigerians remains a top priority of government. It has therefore strengthened our security apparatus, enhanced intelligence gathering, increased funding, and fosters greater collaboration among security agencies to address the multifaceted challenges of security across the country. This administration has also rolled out several social intervention programs aimed at alleviating poverty and empowering the vulnerable segments of our society. These initiatives have provided financial assistance, skill acquisition opportunities, and improved access to essential services. These are things you'll be listening to with effect from tomorrow. I'm bold to say that Nigeria under the present leadership has witnessed significant policy strides in various sectors, including but not limited to the presidential assent to the 2023 electricity bill, a move that dismantled monopolistic control over electricity generation, transmission, and distribution at the national and granted authority to state governments, corporations, and individuals to generate, distribute, and transmit electricity, thus decentralizing the power sector. Assent to the Nigeria Data Protection Bill 2023 that established a legal framework for safeguarding personal information and promoting data protection practices in Nigeria. and the challenging but very necessary removal of fuel subsidy, a long-standing policy notorious for fostering inefficiency and imposing significant fiscal strain on the government annually, and primarily benefiting the affluent and smugglers rather than effectively aiding the general public. It is up to say that under President Tinubu's stewardship, this first year in office witnessed significant strides in various sectors of the economy through prudent fiscal policies and strategic investments. The Nigerian economy has shown resilience and growth. The administration's focus on infrastructure development, job creation, and economic diversification has laid the foundation for sustainable progress and prosperity for all Nigerians. Furthermore, government's commitment to governance and the rule of law has strengthened our democratic institutions and enhanced transparency and accountability in governance. Its unwavering resolve to combat corruption and promote ethical leadership has aimed the administration and support of the Nigerian people and indeed worldwide. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are therefore gathered here today to bring to the populace a report of stewardship within the year, including the challenges encountered and implementable solutions engendered to upgrade the prospects of actualizing renewed hope agenda. It is, however, instructive to note that the act of nation building is not for the government alone. It is a collective responsibility and commitment by all Nigerians to ensure the existence of a stronger and more prosperous Nigeria. Let us therefore rededicate ourselves to the ideas of unity, peace, and progress by working together towards realizing the full potential of our great nation. In conclusion, I would like to extend our gratitude to His Excellency for his leadership, courage, and vision. I would also like to thank our distinguished guests and partners, local and abroad in progress, for their unwavering support and collaboration. Together, let us continue to strive for a better future for Nigeria and its people. Thank you for listening.
We all know that this 1 year has been the toughest. I mean, in the life of Nigerians, this 1 year has been the toughest. A year of pain. I mean, 1 year of sorrow, 1 year of agony, 1 year of destituteness, 1 year of many people, losing their job. I mean, many people losing their jobs. I mean, a whole lot has happened in Tinubu's 1 year. Don't forget, he said he does not regret his actions. So guys, it is clear that these people, they've got nothing to tell Nigerians. They've got nothing to show. They've got nothing that they've achieved in this 1 year. And that's why people keep making reference to Abia State. You need to go to Abia State to see what the Abia State governor has done. He said he's not even going to celebrate his 1 year achievement, because he's not even close to where he wants Abia to be. You can imagine. We've seen, we've heard, we've gone there and we have seen what Alex Oti is doing. But Alex Oti said he's not ready to celebrate yet because there is really nothing to celebrate about. I mean, comparing where he wants to take Abia to. That is just what he's saying. That Abia has not even seen anything. That he's not ready to celebrate now until he achieves his goal for Abia. So guys, this is what leadership is all about, and leadership comes with empathy. When it's all about the people, your concern is for the people. You don't struggle to do something for them. This government came in, they said they were going to hit the ground running. We only saw them buying SUVs, buying yachts, rebuilding and rebranding their presidential residencies, and then furnishing and refurnishing their offices and all that. We saw them traveling and mapping out billions of naira and billions of dollars that they will use for traveling in the year 2024. Those were some of the things that we saw them doing, and that is the only achievement that you can attach to this government. I mean, nothing. They've done nothing for the people. It's all about the ruling class. It's all about the politicians. It's all about them living their best. We all know how they shed money during Christmas. We all know how they take packages. You know, at any time there is any ceremony, they send prayers to their emails, and Nigerians are left to suffer. People who are not sensitive to the plight of the people. And now it's time to give account. They are struggling. It's time to give account. They don't know what to tell Nigerians. So guys, let me know what you think about this video in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Thank you.